Hello, welcome to Miss Peepers Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, aka Miss Peepers. Let's talk about banned books. This month, we are spending all of October celebrating Banned Books Week, which was at the end of September, by discussing a different banned book in every video. My goal here is to educate viewers on what books are banned, why books are banned, and also to encourage all of you to choose the books that you want to read and not let someone else tell you what books you're allowed to read. Today's book is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. This is a pretty popular book, so chances are you know the storyline even if you haven't read the book, but I'll run through it anyway. We follow a girl named Alice who one day follows a rabbit into a rabbit hole and finds herself in a fantastical world called Wonderland. She wanders around meeting all sorts of different characters, eating and drinking the food, and thereby getting taller or shorter depending on what it is she eats. She meets a hookah smoking caterpillar and the Queen of Hearts, who is trying to cut off everybody's head. Wonderland is a strange place, very different from anything that Alice is used to in her home in England. And while it's interesting at first and she enjoys seeing the sights and meeting the people, she does eventually want to go home, and that becomes her goal. And when she does return home, we are left with the question, did these adventures really happen to her, or was it just a dream? Lewis Carroll first invented these stories for some family friends, young girls, and eventually wrote them down and compiled them into a book. Now, I should acknowledge that there has been some speculation that Carroll's relationship with these girls was inappropriate. Now, I'm certainly not an expert on Lewis Carroll, but from what I've read, it seems that those rumors were not substantiated. Still, I think it would be irresponsible not to mention it at all. So why would a delightful, whimsical story that has been adapted several times by Disney and to which many other stories, movies, TV shows have referred, why would that be challenged? Well, in the 1930s in China, this book was banned for a reason that probably sounds a bit strange for those of us who live in the West, and that is that it features animals talking. The governor of the Hunan province said at the time that animals should not use human language or be put on the same level as humans. But that is not the only place that this book has been challenged or banned. Parents in the West have expressed concerns that this book encourages drug use and also child abuse. Let's talk about both of those. First, the child abuse. The reference here is to the Queen of Hearts, whose signature line is "off with their heads," and one of the people that she sentences to execution is Alice. Though it should be noted that very few of these executions actually happen, and Alice manages to get away with her head firmly stuck to her shoulders. However, the Queen of Hearts is not specifically attacking children, and her problem with Alice is not that she's a child, but rather that she's there and the Queen likes ordering people's heads chopped off. And candidly, monarchs of all countries have executed people for very small infractions by the modern standard. So I'm not sure I would classify that as child abuse. The drug use allegation is one that particularly came up in the 1960s, as there was a rise in the use of LSD and other drugs. That drug-using subculture, very much entangled with rock and roll, was brought to the forefront in a way that it really hadn't been before. So Lewis Carroll's use of vivid imagery and fantastical creatures, the Cheshire Cat disappearing, all but his smile, and Alice growing and then shrinking and then growing and then shrinking again, eating mushrooms. Personally, I think it's merely a fantastical story, but you could read that into it, and some people did. Additionally, the caterpillar smoking a hookah did not help with these things. Although typically a hookah is used to smoke tobacco, I suppose you could use it to smoke other things. And of course, the rainbow of colors in the Disney movie did not help convince people that this was not about some sort of hallucinogenic trip. Regardless though, Alice in Wonderland has stuck around, and it is a staple of many American and English childhoods, and probably those elsewhere in the world as well. Have you read Alice in Wonderland or anything else by Lewis Carroll? If so, let me know in the comments. Either way, I'll see you in the next one.